The rain poured relentlessly over the city, turning streets into shimmering rivers of neon reflections. A black and yellow taxi rolled to a slow stop outside an upscale hotel. The wipers scraped back and forth, barely keeping up with the downpour. Behind the wheel sat Ray Carter, a 52-year-old taxi driver with tired eyes and a past he rarely spoke about. It was just another shift, another night of passengers who barely acknowledged his existence. He had been driving these streets for over 2 decades, watching people come and go, lost in their own worlds. That night, at precisely 11:45 p.m., his radio crackled with an urgent request. A pickup at the Grand Royal Hotel, a high-end place where he rarely got calls from. He tapped his screen, accepting the ride. A minute later, the back door opened, and a sharply dressed young man slid inside. JFK Airport, the man said, barely looking up from his phone. Fast, please. Ray glanced at the rearview mirror. The passenger's face was tense, his fingers gripping the phone tightly as if he were waiting for something. Bad news, perhaps. Flight at midnight? Ray asked casually. The man's head snapped up. Just drive. Ray shrugged. All right, buckle up. Ray had driven to JFK hundreds of times. He knew the fastest route, through the expressway. But something gnawed at him, a feeling, an instinct. He hesitated at the upcoming turn. The expressway was ahead, but the traffic looked heavy in the distance. Instead, he turned onto a quieter road. Immediately, the man in the back seat tensed. Hey, why are you going this way? He demanded. Ray stayed calm. Expressway's jammed. This way's faster. The man checked his watch. I don't have time for a detour. Ray didn't respond. Something about this passenger felt off. His breathing was shallow, his knee bouncing restlessly. He kept checking his phone, but never typing anything. Then, Ray noticed something unusual. In the mirror, he saw the reflection of the man's hand trembling as he gripped the edge of his seat. Not from cold, but from fear. Ray had driven all kinds of people, businessmen, celebrities, even criminals. And right now, his gut told him something was very, very wrong. Ray continued down the dark road, rain tapping against the windows. They were now in a quieter part of town, passing closed shops and dimly lit streets. Suddenly, the man's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen and his entire body stiffened. He swallowed hard, then leaned forward. Pull over. Ray kept driving. We're almost there. I said pull over. The man's voice cracked with urgency. Now! Ray slowed down and parked under a flickering streetlight. His heart pounded as he turned to face his passenger. The man exhaled shakily, pressing his fingers against his temple. He looked like he was on the verge of a breakdown. Listen, the man whispered, that I need to get out. But not at the airport. Ray frowned. What's going on? The man's eyes darted around the empty street as if expecting someone to appear out of the shadows. His voice dropped even lower. I think someone is following me. Ray's grip on the wheel tightened. He'd been right. Something was seriously wrong. The man hesitated, then admitted, I'm not who you think I am. Ray remained silent, waiting. The man exhaled deeply. My name is Nathan Reyes. 5 years ago, I made a deal with dangerous people. I thought I could outsmart them, but now they've found me. Tonight was supposed to be my escape. That's why I was going to JFK, a flight to Mexico. But, he looked at his phone, his face pale. They know. They sent me a message. If I go to the airport, I won't make it out alive. Ray's stomach sank. He had driven people running from bad choices before. But this was different. What do you want me to do? Ray asked cautiously. Nathan swallowed hard. Help me disappear. Ray should have just dropped him off and left. It wasn't his problem. He had no reason to get involved. But as he looked at Nathan, young, desperate, on the verge of losing everything, he saw something familiar. A version of himself from years ago. Ray had once been a different man, a man who had made mistakes, but someone had helped him turn his life around. Maybe it was time to repay that debt. Ray exhaled. All right, listen carefully. He pulled out his phone and dialed the number. Jimmy, I need a favor. Jimmy was an old friend, a man who knew how to make people disappear without a trace. 30 minutes later, they arrived at an abandoned warehouse by the docks. Jimmy was waiting. He handed Nathan a new passport, a bus ticket, and a bundle of cash. Go to Chicago, Ray said. Lay low. Get a fresh start. Nathan's hands shook as he took the documents. He looked at Ray, disbelief in his eyes. Why are you helping me? Ray hesitated, then simply said, because once someone helped me. Nathan stared at him for a long moment. Then, for the first time that night, his face softened. Thank you? He disappeared into the shadows. Ray sat in his taxi for a long time, watching the rain blur the city lights. He had no idea if Nathan would make it, if he would use this second chance wisely, but he hoped. As Ray pulled back onto the road, he felt something he hadn't in years. Purpose. Maybe, just maybe, taking a different route had changed more than just Nathan's life. Maybe it had changed his too. Life always gives us choices. Sometimes, helping someone else can lead us to rediscovering ourselves. Kindness doesn't erase the past, but it can build a better future.